live?
All right, we're live here, guys. Okay. Good. I'm just trying to see if it's focused in. Yeah, it is focusing. Hey, everyone, another episode of Prison Talk. Yes, and I'm here with my brother Zeus. And we have a special guest, Michael Peña, but he goes by Michael AP, right? AP. So you do Christian rap. Is that what it is? Christian rap, right? So normally, like I say, when we do our thank you, babe. I forgot it was on. Normally when we do our podcast, we never like to ask questions, so that way you can just roll with whatever God gives you. So I know you did time in prison. We talked a little bit. You did do some time in prison, but so how many years did you do in prison?
10 flat.
10 flat. Where were you when you did the 10? What prison?
Garza West for like 2 months. Garza East for the whole 2 years. Then I went to the Bird Unit for transit for a little bit to figure out where you're going to be. They evaluate you, and then they sent me to Briscoe. I did Briscoe for like 3 or 4 years.
Briscoe Unit, yeah.
And then I finished the rest of my time in Smith Unit, called G4, maximum security. Mm-hmm. And that's when my walk really started.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So, no, we were talking a little bit earlier about the time that you did at the county, right? So I remember being there at the county, fighting my case. But if I would have known that it was better off being in prison, I would have just not even fought it. I would just taken whatever the judge gave me. Because we fought it for what, 20-something months, 26, 28 months or something? Yeah, we fought the case. And if I would have known what I know now, I would have just said, hey, go, get my sentence. So let me ask you this, Michael. Do you come from a broken home, or was your dad there?
I never knew.
You never knew your dad?
Wow. I've been.
How many siblings do you have?
One alive and one dead.
One alive, one dead. Okay, so it was three of you, two siblings. So growing up, you never got to know your dad? Your mom never told who your pop was?
Like I said, she was witness to it recently. I heard two sides of it. My mom was quick to say that you're born by mistake because you're a rape baby, or she'll say, I didn't want nothing to do with them, and so it was a mistake, and I was gonna abort you. Should have aborted you.
Oh, those are heavy words, right? Yeah. Now we talk a lot about abortion because the elections are coming, and you know what I mean. It's if you go one way, abortion. If you go the other way, no abortions. So I'm pro-life. I believe in life. 100%. But so you never got to meet him, right? Was there a father figure in your life, Mike? No.
Not until just recently.
Until recently?
My pastor.
Oh, that's even better. Doesn't get better than that. Okay, so. Do you feel, Mike, that if you would have had a dad figure, or your dad would have been there, things would have been different?
Having a father in your life is a big difference.
It's a big difference? How so do you think it would have affected you? You already know what you went through, all the things that you went through as a kid, growing up by yourself, and how do you think it would have affected you? Would you finish school? Would you have gone to college? What would have been different, Mike, if you had to finish school? You would have went?
I did. I was the first one in my family to finish.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, so your mom stuck it out with you then?
No, she gave me up at 9 years old.
Okay, so what? Okay,
Texas.
All right. So who? Okay. So let me back up a little bit. So at 9 years old, your mom gives you up to the state of Texas, correct? Who was the one that took you? Family or no?
They didn't want me either.
Okay. So who took you there, Mike?
I went to the foster shelter system.
Okay.
At 9 years old, I was a mama's boy my whole life. And,
well, okay, Mike. What was it that she couldn't take care of you? Because you're telling me you're a mama's boy, that you loved your mom. What was it there, that relationship, that she could no longer take care of you? Was she on drugs?
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me just break it down like this.
Okay. We Mike, just whatever you want. Yeah, tell the story, because there's somebody there that grew up without a dad. There's somebody there that their mom was going to abort him. There's somebody there that nobody wanted. There's somebody there that has gone what you've gone. There's somebody there went through the foster system. Someone there is going to hear your message.
So, man, as long as I could remember, man, my mom, she did what she could with me, my brother, and my sister, and you know, she was going to cosmetology school in the daytime, and she was a stripper at night.
Yeah.
And she would bring, man, so many guys over at night, haircuts, lap dances, whatever. But the guys that, you know, I mean, I would always try to latch on to some of them for that father figure, right? And my heart would get torn every time that, you know, them ones I get used to, and then she'll just dispose of them. And she had no conscience of, I mean, I was exposed to a lot of things at a young age. I seen people head blowed off in front of me. People die in front of me. And when I was living at the missions apartments.
When you were a kid?
When I was a kid.
How old were you?
I was like 8 years old.
8 years old.
Okay. 7 years old. Seeing dudes on top of my mom doing stuff, man, in the same bed. Like there was no respect, and and so I remember 1998. It was Christmas Eve morning. My mom was doing her best, and our house burned down Christmas Eve morning, and it was because of a heater. The maintenance forgot to put a metal plate on the wall, and we turned it up because it was cold.
It went through.
And it went through.
Yeah, it went through.
And I remember that night. You know, I didn't know much about God, but I knew I wanted to blame somebody. And I remember, you know, I was in my little Ninja Turtle tidy whities, you know what I'm saying? And I was cold. It was like 40-something degrees. And I remember that morning, it was like 4 a.m. I screamed at God and I said, "Do you hate me this much? You call yourself God and you allow this to happen in my life." And that was my first time ever remember talking to God directly.
Out loud directly?
Yes.
Okay.
Without going to church.
Okay.
Right? And so after that,
so you knew there was a God, but you were never introduced.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then my family didn't want to help my mom, man. It was like, I think something just triggered in her head that she didn't know how to get back on her feet ever since then.
Okay.
And when that happened, you know, she was always she was very abusive to all three of us, and I would raise my brother and sister.
So you're the oldest?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would raise my brother and sister, you know, for school and feeding them. But you know, I used to go to school with bruises all over me, and she would say, you know, Mion, if you love me, tell them you fell down the stairs. And you know, the teacher was like,
whatever. Yeah, right.
Every week you always have bruises all over your body. Like, why? You're not falling down the stairs. And then finally they took me, and then you know, I've always, you know, I remember from the longest I can remember, we always been taken away from the shelter from CPS, but so my mom always fought back.
So this wasn't the first time.
No, this wasn't
okay.
The first
So
time.
the first time you went to foster or CPS, how old were you then?
I was like 6 years old.
6 years old. Okay. All right. Do you think your mom was abusive because she was stressed out? She was tired of her life. She would just, or was it the drugs?
That was her form of love, I guess.
Wow.
Because I mean, she was raised like that, and then to recently, after, you know, I just heard, you know, and my aunts told me the stories of what she's been through, being raped and beaten and just, you know. But I thought that
Your mom's still around.
Yeah,
she's still around. Okay. Any relationship with her? Very little.
What I allow right now.
Yeah, the minimum. Okay.
Love from a distance.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you a story because there's a testimony in this. Yeah. So, you know, I thought that if she wasn't beating me, she didn't love me.
Right.
That was my form of what love was.
That's how you were putting it. That's how you were putting it together.
Yeah.
I'm loved because I'm being corrected. Right.
Yeah.
She's spanking me. So you were 6 years old when you went the first time. Then you were 8 years old when the house burned down?
9.
9. Okay. So At this point, what happily? Okay, so does they come in and they say, well, you have no house for them. We're going to take them, or did they take you from school?
They took me from school because we were living with my aunt at the time, and I was very disruptive in the class.
Sure.
Because my mom would disappear, and I would disappear in the streets looking for her because I was, I was like, "Where's my mom?" And my cousins would laugh at me because I was crying for my mom every time, and she would disappear and leave us there. But like, I was throwing chairs at teachers. I was so angry at life, and so like they see me with bruises, and they put me in shelters. So when I was in there for like the first 2-3 weeks, man, and my caseworker came, sat across the table, and handed me a paper. I'm thinking, hey, it ain't gonna be nothing. I'm gonna be back with my mom. She just straight up told me, she goes, "You belong to the state of Texas now." And I was like, "What?" And then she's like, "Yeah, your mom signed you over." And I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" Like,
Well, you're 9 years old. You can't comprehend, right? You
I
can't. Like, well, what's going on? For a little while, for a couple months, couple weeks, yeah.
That was a done deal.
Yeah.
They said we're gonna put you up for adoption. You're gonna be going to foster care because you're gonna be long term. And they start you off in the system as like they have a level system. So they start you off at a level 1, and the more you act up, you go up in like 3, 4, 5. So that's how they grade you in homes. So that everywhere I went to Gonzales or all around San Antonio, I was being mistreated by foster parents, and just there was bad foster parents that was mistreating me, and I was getting jumped by different races. I had a hatred for black people growing up because I've been mistreated my whole life by it. And
so at this point, what happened, Mike? What happened to your siblings?
They disappeared. They went to their side of the family. We had different dads. They had the same dad, and I had,
Oh, you were okay. Another dad.
Mm-hmm.
So the family took care of those.
Yes.
Okay.
They took them in.
After they took you, you were somewhere else. Did you ever talk to them again? See them again?
No, the CPS never let me have any they took me away for good from everybody.
Okay.
And
so how long were you in the system?
All the way till I was 17 years old.
17 years old. And you were saying?
No, not at all.
Well, I think the older you get, the less chance you have to be adopted. I think that's the way it works. I mean, you know what I mean? Because they're older.
The levels too.
Well, see, yeah, because when I was acting up so much, I actually went to a level care 4 and 5 house in Kerrville, and the family that took the bag, because I mean that was the last resort. After that, it's boot camp.
Yeah.
And so like they put me there, and it was Andrea and Justin Neely. I'll never forget them. I ended up being with them for like 8 years or like 7 years, and they taught me, how to become a human being, like how to eat, how manners, what manipulating was, and like they would teach me, they'll teach me things, and they'll treat me like
a kid. How many other kids were there?
There was 8.
8 of us there. And so they were taking trouble
yes.
kids, right?
Yes, okay. The worst of the worst.
Man, that's a calling in itself.
Were they believers?
No, they were. Now that I see it, they're more pagan.
Wow.
Because I mean, we would have like there's times we'll wake up, and during Christmas, they'll have the Christmas tree bolted to the ceiling, upside down.
Wow.
They said because it was a tradition, with the roots are closer to heaven.
Huh.
So
it's like some type of tradition.
So they were Russian?
I don't know.
Russians, Ukrainians.
And it would be upside down, and there'll be presents around it. And I'll be like, what is this?
Russians and Ukraine.
They bolted to the ceiling, for real.
So they were, out of all, how many foster homes did you go through in the system before you got to Kerrville?
Man, I've been through like at least 8 or 9. I jumped because I got in a fight. I stabbed kids growing up. That was my defense. I got jumped all the time.
So these foster, they just called and they said, "Hey, man, we can't handle them."
Can't handle them.
Okay.
I was messing up everywhere.
Okay, so how old were you when you get to Kerrville?
I was like 11 years old, like 10.
All right, so in between the foster homes any of these people show you how to use drugs, or did you do any drugs? Because I imagine they're just wild.
No, I wasn't really introduced to that until like I really got out of prison.
When you okay, all right,
Okay.
all right. So the people
Or in prison, actually, I got introduced to it.
Yeah.
So the people that took care of you in Kerrville, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they put you through school.
Yeah.
You graduated.
Yeah, I graduated from Cashapp High School.
Wow.
First one in my family history.
That's awesome, dude. Because I mean, you just don't hear those. I mean, I'm sure they're out there, the success stories of foster homes that really love these kids and
Yes.
want to help them, develop them, and mature them, and put them to school. Because I mean, to be a foster parent, or to have a house, yeah, you get paid for it, but there's a lot of work that's involved.
Yeah.
There's so much work that's involved, So someone that's doing that has to have that compassion and that heart to
I'm
work with
grateful
kids.
for them, man, because like they didn't
Do you-
treat
do
us any different.
Do you contact with them?
I lost. I know Justin died when I was locked up. My foster dad. He from some type of liver cancer. And then Andrea, I haven't. We would drive by the house, my foster home in Kerrville and Ingram, and the people would come. They'll stand outside. They're like, "Are you one of these foster kids who used to stay in this house?" And I was like, "Yeah." There's like, "Oh yeah, Andrea and them. They don't." I try to get in contact with some of them, but they'll read the message, and
Yeah.
it was just a job to them. What I remember.
Nah, I don't think so. When you spend time with a child in your development, it becomes more than just a job or that you're getting paid. You make there's a bonding somehow, because I mean, if they took the time to educate you, make you a man, take you from a boy to the man, spend that time to put you through school and everything, they loved you. I mean, if not, they could have just got rid of you. I'm sure you acted up too.
No, and I wanted to so bad think that was true.
Mm-hmm.
But when their house closed down when I was 17, there was another family that I got close to that took me in because my caseworker was trying to take me back into San Antonio because but I wanted to finish school here where I was as a senior.
In Kerrville.
Yeah.
Okay.
When that house closed down with Andrea and Justin, I saw them.
Why did they close the house?
They didn't want to do it no more.
Did you getting older?
No, they were young.
Oh.
They didn't want to do it no more. And then when I seen them at a store, they act like they didn't know me.
Oh.
They gave me the cold shoulder, and that's when my heart shattered at that, because I was like, all I know is you.
Right.
And then that's when it came to me. It was just a job to you.
Well, I would think that
I would have thought too.
Spending time.
I would have thought, because I had history. They taught me everything I know.
Pouring everything you
Exactly.
into you.
So that's when my heart got hurt again, because Justin was the only father figure that I latched onto. But I got hurt again. I put all my faith in man, and I got shattered.
So now you finished school. The place is closed. You're in another home, another house.
Well, the place closed, and then I went to with Liz Nava, with her and her daughters. They were my best friends, and they took me in, and I finished school there.
In Kerrville. Okay, Kerrville. All right, so you finished school in Kerrville. Do you come back to San Antonio? You stay in Kerrville?
I ain't been back to San Antonio since
years.
Just 2 years ago.
Okay, so so at what point do you twist off where you start getting in trouble? How old were you when you went to prison?
18.
18. So right after that?
Yep.
What'd you do?
Right after high school.
Okay. Because you
Mm-hmm.
got a 10-piece, right? You got a 10-piece, so okay. Aggravated?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, aggravated. 10.
I had to do half of it.
Yeah, because you got to do 15 to 20 on an aggravated. So you did 10?
Mm-hmm. Wow. I did the whole 10. Well, they let me out 2 months early. So
How much paper?
2 months.
Too much. Oh, yeah. So what happened? Do you want to go?
It had something to do with like my brother and stuff, man. He's dead already.
Mm.
I was really violent with knives growing up. That was my thing. And I did after I was facing 20. And my first time ever being convicted of anything, man. I told my
That's Chalon. You were 18.
yeah. I told my lawyer, I was like,
First.
when you hear that, it's like all the life is sucked out of you.
Yeah. At 18 years old, yeah.
Like, you don't even know what to
It's like,
think.
it's my first time. Y'all gonna give me that much?
You got people like coming out with like probation that has a criminal history.
Yeah.
And like you're just gonna throw me like that, throw the book at me like that.
Man.
Well, it was a small town. Kerrville was a small town.
That's why.
And
I
was
was in Kirk County. I wasn't in San Antonio.
okay. So your judge was a female judge.
No,
It wasn't her?
my person
District
prosecutor. Her name was Lucy Cavazos.
Yeah, because there's a lady there in Kerrville, and she's been there for years. Man, she will.
They call her Lucifer.
Yeah, she's famous. She's famous.
Her name is Lucy Cavazos.
Yeah, and though she
throws out time like candy.
Yeah, man, she's just like.
So for the whole year I was in there fighting my case, bro. I was watching that people that even like they could have got probation.
We're getting time.
If you didn't take that probation and you try to go back again and ask for like she gave me the max and said go fight it in prison.
Yeah.
She gave somebody 99, 99, 20, maxed them out on all 3 cases and said go fight
The
it.
lady that I'm talking about is I've talked to guys that I went through a couple of friends of mine. They were Latin Kings, and they went through her. They got sentenced in Uvalde, but they moved the case to Kerrville. Man, they all got RICO acts, and it was her. It was her. Kids, 17, 18, 19 years old, got caught up in a RICO first time. They went through her, so everybody was like,
I was in there the first year she got there. So the judge told me, if you were to be in a bigger city, you'll be walking out of here. But since you're in a small town and this is her first year.
Wait a minute. I think her son OD'd too, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Her son OD'd, yeah. If I'm not mistaken, it was an aggravated with her son. They sold him some stuff and he OD'd. And man, if you were in front of her for aggravated or drugs, you were like gone. There was no, I'm gonna give you so much time and then I'm gonna send you to halfway house. Send you to a program. With her, it was just
She maxed it on.
Yeah, she'll max you out. Like
she,
you said,
she would max you out.
She maxed the guy out 3 times with 20.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what she did?
No, he had 3 cases, and he had the option of having probation. But the lawyer told him, "I could get you off. Don't take it."
Goodness.
And so I'm telling him, I said, "Bro, take the probation. She ain't playing with nobody."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Nah," but my lawyer said, and I was like, all right. He came in, and I'm telling you like this.
Was he crying?
Still to this day, I've never seen a true dead man walking in his face. Of like, he went to his bunk and put the blanket over him, and he just got married, and he was crying, and then they had to do a welfare check. I'm not check. They had to keep checking.
Welfare check.
Welfare check. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
And what in the law was like, hey, they gave him 99, 99, 20.
Didn't it take him? I mean, for his protection? No. Okay.
They maxed him out and they said go to appeal at prison. And she was doing that to everybody, and like people were getting 65 at just random numbers. And then so like when they kept resetting my case, and I started seeing that my lawyer was eating and chilling with her. He wasn't fighting at all for me, and I tried to get a lawyer, and the judge was like, "We're too far in the case." Denied. And so I'm about to go to trial, and they were like, "We got this one-time offer from 20. We're gonna give you 10. Take it or leave it." I said, "Where's the paper?" And then my people holding me down, they were like, "You're gonna take it?"
Well, you already knew it was coming.
I already knew. And then they're like, "Why are you taking it?" I said, "Because if I don't take it, they're giving me 99.
Yeah.
I want to see daylight." Mm-hmm. That's all I saw. I said, "I have a year done in here."
That was your first bid.
My first bid. So
Was that your only bid?
Only.
The only
That
time.
was enough?
Yeah, that was it.
I've been out 8 years.
There you go.
And you ain't
Since
getting in trouble.
2017.
You ain't getting in trouble again, are you?
Nah, I told some of my cousins this and some other people is that, when I told him when I went to go pick him up in Huntsville, I told him, I said, man, bless his soul, he's dead already. He died this year or last year.
Your cousin?
My cousin.
Yeah.
He did 3 years, and I told him, I said, when he got out, I was there waiting for them in Huntsville. He wasn't expecting for me to be there. I told him, I said, man, prison really saved your life, but I really feel like you needed to be in there longer. He goes, why would you say that? I said, because 3 years ain't enough for you to get your head together, bro. At 5 years, I still...
Was he using dope?
Yeah, he died off of meth.
Yeah, no, that's not enough time. 3 years is not enough time.
And I try to tell him, I said, look, I know what you feel right now. I know you want to go fast. I know you want to go catch up with this and this and this. I said, but look, let me tell you, everybody in the family is going to all of a sudden know my number to try to get a hold of you and get you to do things, and friends and other people.
Get you back in the business.
Oh yeah, other friends. And I said, bro, just be there for your mom, be there for your kids, and be there for your brother.
How long did he last?
Not long, like 4 years.
4 years.
He was just declining. He was a skeleton. My cousin was a skeleton, man, and I watched him die slowly. It hurt me. I told him straight up. I was like, man, to see you like this, I said, prison saved your life, bro.
Well, the thing is prison is good for some people. Prison is bad for other people. I mean, like for me and myself and Zeus, prison was one of the best things for us, where it slowed us down, and we were able to. I mean, the saying is right: slow down and smell the coffee, smell the roses, right? Really, yeah, and be able to reflect on what's going on
And appreciate
and
freedom.
there you go, appreciate freedom, and get to a point where, man, this is not for me. This is not for me. And then you have those times where alone times, because I did mine was because of COVID. I did 18 months, right, in lockdown, 18 months. So right there is I had enough time to read my Bible. I had time for myself, and I was a workout nut, right, burpees and sit-ups and all that stuff. But that right there, going to prison, because before I left the prison, I was 140 pounds. I was on heroin. I already had gave my life to Christ, so I was just in a place where I already had detox. I was going to church, helping at the church. An old case came and caught me. It was like 6-7 years later, 5 years later. Yeah, 5 years later, they come and they closed the case on me, right? They indicted me. But I was already off of heroin. And man, that was the best thing for me. 5 years in prison. I was able to get my head together and know it. I was in my 50s when I left. I'm 60 right now. So I was like, man, I got to.
You look good.
Thank you.
You look really good.
Thank you.
I never would have known.
Yeah.
It's like you're 48 or something.
Oh.
God.
Stop, please.
Thank you.
You look like you're 40 years old though.
Yeah, but the being in the prison was where I got to meet Jesus. You know what I mean? Because you're in solitude, you're quiet, you have time, you got a Bible there, and
The distractions are gone.
yeah, there you go. No noise, right? No noise, no politics. When you're out there, politics
In the yard, yeah, it's
in the
on
yard, who
politics.
you're running with, all that stuff, riots and all that. Man, all you do is you have the Bible right in front of you, and you're gonna read it. If you don't understand it, you're still gonna read it. So you're in prison. So when did you get to know God? In prison? Did you do any Bible studies in there?
Yes.
You went to Bible studies.
See, like before I went in, I was already a part of First Baptist Church of Ingram. I always been, even foster care. Since a kid, I was a straight church.
Wow.
I was in choir. I was the leader of our youth group. I would do vacation Bible schools.
Wow. Okay.
I would do all the sign language and stuff for the kids, and we would do I was deep, but I didn't know nothing about a relationship.
Yeah,
I thought
Yes,
what I was
yeah.
doing was I'm a Christian, but my walk didn't start until 2012 at Kairos.
Wow.
At
Cairo, so that's
There it is, right there.
Kairos.
Yeah, Kairos. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, you know what's crazy is that I was raised in the ministry myself. My father was a pastor. Even though he was in prison, out of prison, heroin, selling dope, and all that, I was raised in the ministry like yourself, going to church and doing what my parents wanted me to do and what they were doing. So your foster parents were taking you to church. No, how were you?
It was just down the street, and it was the only place that shout out to Mike Vicker, my youth pastor, man. He's the one that baptized me. And,
so you by yourself just?
Yeah, I would go.
Oh, dude, so
I would go just to get away, and then I was trouble there too. But he
worked with me. Yeah, he worked with you,
and he basically raised me.
So basically, look. So really, if you look back, you already had a calling, you had a purpose. God had His hand on you already. He had seen the life that you lived, and he had His covering on you. He had His protection was on you already. And that for you to go yourself to, that's amazing.
Come on.
Yeah, that you end up even though it was there's nothing wrong with Baptist, but that you end up there in church and they start teaching you the basics, the Bible and the stories, and then you being involved. That's something that God. He saw your hurt. He knew that that's a great testimony.
When did you first receive Christ? How old were you?
Man, I was probably like 13 years old.
Okay.
Were you part of the worship team there at
I was the only Mexican in that, and it was the only white community in there.
Yeah.
I stood out because it was an older choir,
Mm-hmm.
right? When I always found out that music was always going to be a part of me, I didn't.
Are you a musician? Do you play guitar?
I do Christian hip hop music, and I didn't know any of that stuff. And so when I went there, I just thought it was all about hymns and it was about works. That's what it was. It wasn't really disciple, because it's always and I was there. How, man. Another thing too about how we need to pray for our pastors. Is because I saw it, witnessed it before I got locked up. Our church was booming, and we were breaking grounds to this big church that we were about to build. Well, accusations came out that he was sleeping with 3 or 4 other people in the church.
Oh man!
And so half the church believed it, and half the church didn't. And so before we even got to get started, Satan took out the head, and boom. And I was like, "What's going on?" I didn't understand it. And I was like, we were, it was doing some great things. And then even I got hurt by youth pastors there that we latched onto, and I like a father figure. And then he got church hurt, and he just disappeared with his family. And I'm like, what's going on? Why do people leave? And I started realizing that, they're seasonal. It's just they weren't here. They were here for a little bit. And,
how long was he a pastor there? Before he got accused?
Man, he was there for like a good 15 years. He was there for a while. But
my dad used to say, because my dad was a pastor for many years. He said, and I heard it today. We went to a pastor's conference today. Some good people there. Today I heard. He said it, but he didn't really emphasize it or highlight it. But he says, comfortability. Did he say it right? Being comfortable with something.
Oh, okay.
Comfortability.
Right? He said that word that a lot of times familiarity, I can't even say the comfortability takes you off of your love for Christ again. In other words, you know it so well. And
you
got the word. You just know it. And what happens is you fall into this routine. He didn't say it like that. But when I heard that word, that triggered my father saying, hey, a pastor has to be always in prayer. El pastor here, ponte trucha. Be aware because the enemy's coming.
Always.
That's the way my dad was. And it was like, the devil doesn't stop coming at you. He's going to keep coming and coming. But as soon as you get familiarity, comfortability, that's when you say, I think I got it. I think I got my hand on this pastor ministry. Because no longer are you in a point where you're needing God because you got the word. Now people are coming. The church is growing. I was like, ooh, I think I got it. I got this. I got it. It's rolling. It's snowballing. But that's when as a church grows, like your church, it starts growing and you're breaking the ground. The enemy don't want, you know what I mean? He wants to cause. He don't want growth, and he wants division. He wants to take the head, like you were saying. He wants to take that person down.
So what did that do for you? So the church splits up, your youth pastor leaves, everybody's gone. Where does that leave you?
I was confused. I didn't want nothing to do with God really after that. I was like, man, I said, this is all a game. You know, these are leaders in the church and everybody that I looked up to, that I latched onto, that everybody, it just appeared.
Did the close church? Did it close or it kept going?
They went to like another smaller one, and then like, you know, they opened up that one, but some other church took over it called Living Tree, and I remember because I helped volunteer, you know, build that in, you know, I was there.
You were part of it. You were part of the growth. You were there. You saw it as a kid. You saw where it was going, and people were coming, and you know, just man. Like I said, when I heard that today, I was like, you could never ever get to a point where you think you figured it out. You can, in the ministry, you can never get in a point where I got it. I think I figured it out, because you haven't figured out nothing. The enemy's still there. The enemy is there, and it's, you know, the more you know about God, the more you want to do for them, the bigger your calling and your purpose is, the more you have to get into the Word, and you got to get into prayer. Right?
I say it in music. I said, I always push you when I think I have it figured out. I'm blinded by my past. At times I want to scream it out. I sin so much at times, thinking that you're never there. I'm hurting now than ever, so I say a little prayer. I don't deserve your love, mercy, and your holy grace. You're always there, not my friends, when I catch a case. I turn my back even though you always held it down for me. I let you down even though you always smile for me. And then, you know, that's what it is. I always push him away when I think I have life figured out.
But he's always there.
He's always there. He's like, why am I always pushing him away? Like, I'm not God. You know, I don't got this. Me doing me is what got me where I was.
Yeah, your own understanding. Okay, so now you get to meet God. So how long were you there when you met God? You had when was it that you had a true experience?
Man, so after counting,
because you truly had it with
scared.
Carol.
I was scared. All I see was a barbed wire fence, and then how they strip you naked.
Yeah.
Birthday suit, and they do the shaving of the head. They give you that little bar of soap, and you get to take your Bible, and they just, you know, I was like, oh man, pancakes.
Yeah.
How they get a pancakes. I was like, man, these are so good. And I was like, man, and then wake up in the next morning, man, pancakes again. And after like 4 weeks, a month passed by, man, I'm tired of these pancakes. Yeah. And, you know, and you know, you get the chicken coop, you know, stuff started getting real. It's like, man, it's hot. There ain't gonna be no air conditioning. And they're like, nah, man. And you know, going to Garza West, they put you in that big old tank, and you have your Christians and everything's open. And then I started learning, because I was oblivious to gang life. You know, I was in foster care. I wasn't in that.
Right.
So like, and then when I'm straight off, like I'm green to this.
Green,
you know?
green.
I mean, other than that, from childhood, when I was 9 in San Antonio, I knew about the bad killing, drugs. But in Kerrville, there ain't none of that. It's like a fairy tale place, really. It's a perfect place to raise your family. So there's no gangs there. And so when I go in, and I'm just like, all right, what's this and this? And then, you know, people try to lace you up and tell you the rules and tell you that and tell you the lies and their truth. But I went in and I'm like, man, you know what? I got 10 years to do. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, I ain't trying to hear nothing. And then like, when when they moved me to Garza East.
So you ran Solano?
No, I was OL1 for a little bit. And then when I went to Garza East, the brotherhood was all good, but they had some people some homeboys that were down before, and they would tell me like, look, it looks pretty right now, but when you go to the unit, that's not what we're about. You do other stuff. You know, basically, they're doing the same thing they fought against to be. You know what I'm saying? but I always wanted to be like help people, help each other going on. You know what I'm saying? And about the right things.
You had a different heart.
Yeah,
I mean, you had a different heart, a different
I was
mindset.
laced up different.
Because and also, being a kid and going to church, you got to see what it was like to help people.
You got to experience.
You got to experience helping people in need. You got to see that. God gave you that, and I truly believe that. Even though that you went to prison, God had His hand on you anyway.
Amen.
All over your case. I mean, all over your protection. God was there for you. So you go to Cairo.
No.
Okay.
To get
All
this.
right.
So I get a letter from my brother, and at this time he's in county.
Okay, you bear. Okay.
And he writes me and he tells me, I forgive you. And he says, man, but brass knuckles. And that was my last image of him on the floor with blood everywhere. And then that was
your case.
Yeah, he told me straight up. He goes, I love you, man, but look, let me tell you about this gang life ain't where it's at. And he's the one that really found God before me. And he was speaking life into me. He goes, man, let me tell you what God's doing with me. And so I'm hearing this, right? And then he's like, man, promise me that you just stay away from it and just get your life right. And so I'm sitting there knowing the decision I made. But I feel obligated to be in this because of the youngsters in here that are just trash dummies. They're just they're going crazy, fighting over a channel check, just dumb stuff. So I stepped away before it got even it was before I even got any serious, and then I started seeking more of the Bible, right? So even me being the big Mexican I wasn't there. It kind of looked like I was hiding behind the word, right? Okay. And so I wanted to seek more about what this God was, right? And then what got my attention about more of this walk. I'll never forget it. There was this dude named Southeast. He was a Tango Blast from Houston, and I would watch him from far away. He would pick up the Bible, but he swole, big old Mexican. He would pick up the Bible and he would throw it. And he would start working out. He started doing 50 push-ups, and he'd be sitting there his own homeboys didn't want to be around him. He was so negative, so hatred, so mad at life. And he would mean mug everybody in there. And then so he'd pick up the Bible again, he'll go and he'll throw it and start doing more push-ups. And I'm like, man, this dude's crazy, man. What's up with this guy?
He was reading a verse every time.
Bro, he would I was like, this dude's lunatic.
He's reading a verse. Every time he'd read a verse, he would do push-ups. Read a verse.
Yeah. And then so I'm sitting there, and I come to him, I said, and I wanted to break ice with him. I was like, hey, bro, I see you reading the word. It's like, what's up, man? You want to? And he's like, he just looked at me. He goes, man, don't talk to me. And I'm just so I'm like, all right, whatever. So I just I'm doing my stuff, my studies and other stuff. And out of nowhere, he goes, they call him to go to another dorm, right? They just move him.
He just changed.
And I thought he caught Jane. Right?
He didn't catch you?
No, they just dry moved him to another dorm, right? And so a couple of months passed by. I get words because I got cool with his homeboys. You know what I'm saying? They're real cool with them, and just befriended them. They were real cool people. Then my boy B, he goes, hey, you remember Southeast, the one that nobody else? I said, yo, what's up? Is he okay? He goes, man, he gave his life to Christ. You know anything about that? And I was like, what? I was like, what do you mean? He goes, he stepped down. He's preaching. And he's like, what do you mean he stepped down? He goes, he's like, he stepped down from Donald Blast, bro. And so I'm like, nah. And so as soon as he told me that, out of nowhere, he's coming in the door with his bag and stuff, right? His mattress. And he goes like this.
Yeah, big old smile.
And he looks at me, he puts his stuff down, he's walking towards me with a smile.
Yeah. Big old smile, right?
Man, and he gets boom. He's like, man, what's up, my brother? And I'm like, bro, You all right? And he's like, man, let me tell you what happened.
Come on.
And like he's just sitting there just testifying, man. He goes, man, look, man, I was done. I told God I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew they were gonna have to smash me, so be it. I told them, you know what I'm saying? And he goes, God didn't let them do it. And they just they were in the hallway and they were gonna do it. And they said that we feel like there's something wrong about this.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was serious. I mean, God's protection. If you're true, you're really true with God, and you're ride or die with Him, He's gonna protect you.
Yeah, and
He's gonna protect you, man.
And so he's doing this right. So he's running Bible study.
There you go.
Knowledgeable.
Preaching. Yeah.
I'm watching, and this whole time,
Was he a PK? A preacher's kid? Was he raised in the ministry?
Bro. Man, this is the second time down, right? And after this, when he was so mad because he ended up telling me that everything he was reading was convicting.
Ooh.
That's why he threw it down. He said everything that I read in that thing was cutting me. And he goes, but my family deserted me. Everybody just did. They said if I came down again, they were done. Yep. But I watched God give him everything the enemy took. His family came back. Visits.
First of all, wait. First of all, peace. Peace, man. That's the first. That's the first thing you get. Peace. And whatever happens. I'm gonna go do. You get this crazy peace when you're in prison. Yeah. It's like being in the free world, but it's like, man, whatever happens. I know that I'm good. God's with me. It's the craziest joy and peace that you get. And then right away you're smiling with everybody. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, brother? You know, you get that joy and that peace.
Yeah, and he's sitting there trying to, I was like, and I'm trying to figure out how did you get to where you are so quick?
Yep.
Right? And I've always been trying to figure this out in ministry. It's because of the surrender, the total surrender that he really said, I'm done. I was like, well, what you mean? I've been doing ministry since I was little. How did he get there? It's because I've been holding on to a lot and not letting God move in my life. Yeah. So I'm still, but I'm still straddling the fence at this time. I'm Christian, but I'm still, still want to live that life because I got time to do. And then and at this time, people be trying to test me, and I have to get in fights. You know what I'm saying? I had to do what I do, and then and then like he'll get mad, brother, you don't have to live like that and this, and he's just giving me all this knowledge and stuff. But in all this Bible studies and prayer calls and stuff that is joyful, and the way he don't look at possessions, he was always really wanting to give and help people. He started getting commissary, letters, speaking life into his family, visits, and then all of a sudden parole.
Oh.
I witnessed everything, and I was like, if God could change somebody like that.
And you saw the original battle.
It. Yes. From start to finish.
And he wasn't even waiting for parole.
He wasn't waiting for parole. He already was like, man, whatever.
My time.
Yeah, he already had his mind made up. To see the total surrender, to watch a walk be transformed and see what God could do, it changed my mind on this thing. I was like, who is this guy?
I want some of that.
Yeah, I was like, man,
I want some of that.
Who is this guy? And so like I catch chain, boom, to go to my unit after I did 2 years. And then I go to Bristol. So in Bristol they
I gotta ask you, did you keep up with him?
No.
You didn't keep up with his son?
Nuh-uh.
No.
Man.
I've been trying to look for him.
Man. I was gonna say you find him, let us know.
Yeah,
we want him here.
Yeah, man. And then so like I went to Bristol unit, man, and they straight send me to the worst. Ever since I've been down, they always send me to the worst of the worst places. Right. When I went to Garza East, I was in the worst dorm.
So they send you to maximum?
No, they send me to the A side. They have medium custody, and they have the gang related unit. They sent me straight to the gang related unit.
Well,
so you were confirmed?
Your age and your affiliation.
No, but he wasn't confirmed.
I wasn't confirmed. They
send
you
but
there.
But you're charged though.
Yeah.
Because you had that charge, you had that ag charge to put them.
They send you there. No, this is how they do it. They send you there, brother, to see where you at and who you gonna bang with, or if you're gonna stay on the side, or what. They watch you. Yeah. They used to call that dorm the lover boy tank, because those were a lot of people were getting caught messing with guards. You know what I'm saying? And relationships, and gang related, and there were all the shot callers were there. So when I went in there, I went in with an attitude. It was nothing about God. I went in there because they said they do checks, solo checks.
Yeah.
So I went in there, laced up, put my mat up,
Getting ready.
opened the door, 2 in and outs, nothing happened. I went downstairs. I said, "Who speaks for San Antonio?" You. I said, "Man, come on, run them 2." And they're like, "You good? You good?" Like, wait, you. It's like, "You solo?" I was like, "Yeah, but I mean, it is what it is." And I was like, "Nah, you good? You came and you approached us for that. Like, we know you're gonna fight, so you good." And I was like, "Nah, but I got something to prove." And they're like, "Nah, bro, you good? Like, you good? Just do your time." And then they started telling me, okay. They told me, he's like, "Look, the best way I'm gonna tell you how to know this system is to go in your cell, turn the lights off, watch the dorm, look outside the door, watch who's who, who's the bandits, who's the jokers, who's the break eyes, who to stay away from. Watch and observe everything.
Who's the crash dummies?
Who's the crash dummies?" And it's like, if you want to learn any lesson, learn a lot of these lessons from other people's mistakes.
Come on.
And I would watch.
Was that an old school guy? Old
Yeah.
school telling you
His name
that?
name is Richie.
Yeah.
Moy Richie and Italiano. And actually, I got to see them at the.
Italiano.
I got to see him at the Planet Fitness. I ran into him.
At the event?
No,
Just
on Marbach. I ran into this dude, right?
Okay.
Remember Italiano? And I was like, "Man, this dude looks familiar." He just got out. They're running businesses right now.
Yeah, when I was in there, I ran with the Italians. They're good friends of ours, man.
No, he's the one that spoke for the whole unit for San Anto.
Oh, wow.
He looks like a white guy, just straight, no tattoos, no nothing, but swole. And yeah, he looks like John Claude Van Damme, haircut back and everything. School, education, talks proper, shake your hand. Never thought that he was in a gang or he spoke for the whole unit.
Wow.
Oh, I mean, he's just respected. But yeah, man, I went over there, and so when I was in A dorm, the dude that spoke for that dorm his name was Mo, and then he's like, "Hey," he goes, "You read the Bible, right, a little bit?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I just got approved to go to the Kairos." I was like, "What's that about?" He goes, "I don't know. I'm finna go see right now." So I waited for him. He came back right with a little bag. I'll never forget it, man. He came to the table. Let me tell you, his eyes were watery, right?
Come on.
And I said, "What's up? What happened?" He said, I don't understand. I don't understand why people love me. They don't even know what I did. They don't even know who I am." I said, "Why? How could they love me?" And I was like, "Well, what you mean?" He goes, "Man, they wouldn't stop giving me hugs and feeding me and just loving on me. And I don't understand it, man. Like, what? Why, man?" And he just started crying and like tearing up, and he's just wiping his tears. And I was like, and then to see of somebody of his caliber, of how people looked up to him. I mean, he's been there for like 12 years already, and
Yeah, but you got to remember that, just like you, growing up, no love, no one did nothing from you. You know what I mean? He's been written off. You go to prison, it's out of sight, out of mind, right? Out of sight, out of mind.
That's
A lot
reality.
and that's reality. A lot of times you're in prison, life moves on. If you're married, sometimes a wife moves on, gets married again, has kids from another dude, moves on.
Yeah.
And you're in there. Nobody's gonna send you letters. Christmas, nobody's gonna send you. Every now and then, "Hey, carnal, hope you're doing good." Every now and then. So when you're in there, you're out of sight, out of mind. So this guy, I'm sure it wasn't his first bid. So being that he had been there before, he was a senior. You know what I mean? And for somebody, a stranger, to show you love, I remember being in prison, and I was going to school. I was going to the university there where I was able to go to school. My instructor, the very first time an outside person showed me kindness, I was telling my wife, I always get emotional with that. He goes, "Hey, go to my truck. Go to my truck, and in the passenger seat, there's something there for you." So I get there. You know what it was? An egg. What was it? Egg biscuit.
McMuffin?
Yeah, it was a muffin egg from McDonald's, dude. Man, I got choked up because no one ever showed me kindness. It had been years that somebody, you know what I mean? It was just kindness. So for him to go there and everybody's loving on him and saying, "Hey, we're praying for you. We love you." feeding them. I mean, that's why those prison ministries, the prison ministries that go in there, like Jubilee, that they go in there. There's other ministries, but like Jubilee goes in there and they feed them and they give them the word and they love on them. And man, it breaks you down because no one has. No, it's been a while. Somebody said, "Hey, man, I'm praying for you, bro. I love you, and I know that God has something for you. It's not over. When you get out, you're gonna be." And then they start speaking life into you.
So when I heard him say that, I couldn't comprehend that. I was like, "What do you mean? How are they loving you? Like, what do you mean? Like, how are they hugging you?" So like I signed up for it, you know, and at that time at that church, a lot of things were crooked because you would pay the clerk just to get, and so but I got selected to go on the next month, and I was at Briscoe 8, and at this time, brother, I already almost have 5 years done, and I'm about to see parole, right? I'm about to get my answer, and I go through Kairos. No, I didn't see my answer at that time, but and I answered the second time I went to do the serving. So this time was 2000. I think it was 2008. No, 2009. No, it was 10 or 11, somewhere around there. I went. I know it was Briscoe number 8. I went, and I couldn't stop crying to the start of it and to the finish of it, of experiencing like what true agape love, what love really was. This whole time.
Was it the worship music? Was it them just loving on you?
No, it was just straight of
God's presence.
They didn't even bring the word. It was they weren't like, it was just straight, just like showing God's love. If you but love one another, the world will know you're my disciples. We're called to love. Love conquers all. Love shatters all. The ultimate example of love is that cross. I love you this much, right? You know, he came down from glory because he loved, but God loved us. For God so loved, he loved, man. And so what these brothers were doing, I was sitting at the table with the lawyer, cop, judge, free world, Kairos, loving on us. On other people, they're just of different statues, and I'm like, y'all sacrificing 3-4 days of your life, spending money on your pockets to love on us. Why? What has God done for you? Like, to hear their stories and how far like they've come. They said, man, look, we were one bad decision. I said the only difference between me and you is that we didn't get caught. It's like I should have. Even the cops said that. Like, I could have been locked up just like y'all for a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I was like, but look, and then so they're speaking life into us, and I'm just like, my heart shattering. But God revealing Himself that this whole time that you thought, many would say, Lord, Lord,
come on,
have we not? I never knew you. I was gonna be one of those. I didn't have no relationship until I had my perspective on what love was, but you don't know what love was until you really encounter what love is, man.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Like what love really is, bro. And then when I encountered that, it stirred something up in me so much, and I was like, you know what? I was like, man, and I fell in love with it. And then when I went and I got chose to go serve, when doing the second time, when I found out that I thought it was good to receive and do all that stuff and eat good,
it's even greater.
But it's even greater.
Yeah, when you
go in there and you start serving, bro. Oh man, I was like, this is what serving's about. And then I was like, I was on fire. And then so like, I'm doing all this stuff, man. And you know what? And I'm like, at this time I'm getting my answer, right? And I was like, man, God, I'm gonna go hard for you. And I was like, and I was in that cell, and I told God straight up, you know, one thing I told myself, if you can't be real with yourself, who can be real with you? Come on.
True that.
And I told God straight up, I said, man, I ain't ready to go home. Oof. And then my cellie was like, he said, what are you saying up there? I said, man, I ain't ready to go home. I said, my walk is just getting started. Oof. And I was like, he's like, so what do you mean? Like, what did they give you parole? I said, man, I'm not ready. I said, man, look, I'm not the man I know who God wants me to be. I don't even know my calling yet. I don't even know my gift yet. I said, I know God's going to do some. I said, man, God, if you have me do the next 5 years, so be it. I'm going to do what I got to do for you to make me who you are. I said, this time go around, the 5 years I did me. I did what I wanted to do. I wanted to get tattoos, fight, gamble, porn shots, do all this other stuff, and live this life. I did me. Now, this next 5 years, if you say who you say you are, transform me. I totally surrender. Do what you do in my life.
You know, but we get to that point. I remember telling my wife, remember when you went to go visit me, and I told her, I got to go do time. No, but we've been fighting it for 20-something months, baby. You know, time served. And I said, no. Remember I told you, I got to go do time. I feel like I gotta get this off. I got to go do time. And I felt by going to do time, I remember telling my wife, I'm either going to meet somebody there that's important that in my life that's going to help me some way. I'm going to meet somebody there, or I'm going to change in there somehow. My wife goes, no, it's already. I was already going up to trial, and I remember telling her, man, I feel like I'm going to go do time. I feel like I got to go do time. I got to go. But you get to that point where I think I was at a point that I knew that if I came out, it wasn't enough for me to change yet. Even though I was already off of heroin, been over 2 years, 3 years, I felt like there was still something missing. And by going to prison, whatever I was searching, whatever I was looking, whatever was lacking, the answer was in prison. My wife was like, you gotta be kidding. Why would you want to go to prison? What about us? I said, I told my wife, I can't explain it, babe. I know I'm going to go to prison. No, your dad says you're coming home. Sure enough, they gave me 5 years on top of that. So, I went to go do the time. And you talk about getting to know God in your private time, your closet time. That's what happened to me.
See, but what it was too, brother, is like Christ died for us in public. I was living my life in secret.
Come on.
I was ashamed because I was so worried, even like for the next man to look at me. You weak, you picking up your hands now, you worship, oh, you Christian. I didn't want that target on me, right? To be weak, surrender. Oh, you a goodie now, right? But now I got so sick and tired of experiencing this love. I said I wanted to tell the world, man. I said, you know what? I don't care what people think. I said, man, I went over there the next day, got my answer.
It didn't even face you, did it?
There's like 3 years set off. I'm sorry. I said, and that's what I'm talking about. I'm walking down the bowling alley, and my boy's like, what'd you get? I said, man, they gave me a 3 year set off. That's a blessing. They was like, what? They got people hanging themselves over a 3 year set off.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, man, I said, man, God's finna do some stuff. And I'm like, all happy and everything. And I'm getting ready for Kairos and everything. And then, like, little did I know, I learned my calling in there with Christian hip hop music. I became the choir director for my unit, a Smith's unit. I became the Kairos facilitator. I ended up doing the 4th day talk for Kairos, and I spoke in front of free will people and all the inmates, told them my testimony. And I also got to have my mom go through the Kairos walk outside. You know what I'm saying?
That's what it is right there.
Yeah,
there you go, right there. Yeah.
And we got to write that letter.
Oh, dude.
And she wasn't expecting it. But
I bet you broke her.
It did. She still talked about it.
Wow.
She just, you know what I'm saying? And then, and experiencing all that, man, like, God was getting me ready for so much more. I actually have a composition book in my backpack that from 07.
I'm a jerk.
From 07, brother.
I'm a writer, dude.
Hey, it might feel like that with music.
Yeah, man.
God just told me just keep writing, right?
Yeah.
And I had no beats, and I just kept writing. So when I came out here to the world, and I was like, man,
you found your beat.
Putting everything together like if it was already set up. God already knew what was gonna happen, right?
Come on.
But even doing all that ministry, man, and all the way to like when I'm about to get out, we talk about appreciation, right? What do you appreciate? know,
What did God do?
what you, not only that, you know, taking a shower by yourself, using the restroom by yourself, getting a cold soda when you want, air condition, a bed, a comfortable bed without lumps in it. I was sleeping on steel.
Mine was, I was sleeping on steel.
Just for my back to feel some type of way. You know?
And then the thing is, you sleep on a comfortable bed and your back hurts.
Yeah.
We're so used. When I came home, I was sleeping on the floor for a while.
Yeah.
I was so used to when I got on the soft bed in the morning. I was like, everything hurt because we're so used to that rail. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And so, man, you know, when they that night, bro, they gave me that red chain back, bro. Let me tell you, I didn't have no celly, right?
There you go.
They gave it to me. I cried
Yep.
so hard. I had snot coming out my nose. And I felt like the nightmare was over and I didn't have to put this persona on no more.
It was no longer fake it till you make it. It was true surrender. You love God. He came through, and it's that true surrender we're talking about, that where you just like, man, that's beautiful.
I felt God told me, I was like, all right, now I'm ready for you to go. And so, like, when I got to leave and when I walked out those doors, right out the doors, my first meal was I've been dreaming about this for years.
Whataburger.
Triple meat, triple cheese, and bacon and
Whataburger. Was it Whataburger? Right, Whataburger. I knew it, man. Everybody.
Did you go to Yucca? Is that why?
Nah, I told my. So they had some people that before I got locked up, they were members of the church and they were there for me the whole 10 years, right? And God blessed me with them. And they would send me money in commissary, e-com, and Bibles and Bible study stuff. But they were like, "What's the first thing you want to eat?" And I was like, "Man, just have a triple meat, triple cheese, bacon, and how the family's ready." And I'm eating it, crying, right? I'm at the table, picnic table. I'm eating it, crying. And they're like, and I said, "Can we just go?" And they're like, "Why?" And I was like, "Man, because I feel like this is unreal. Like, I feel like they're gonna call me back in." And because they denied 3 people. 3 people went in there and they messed up on their paperwork.
And they tell them our story.
He said, as soon as he got in the car, he was like, "Go, go." I was like, "What are we doing?"
Yeah,
Am I supposed to be taking you?
The same thing happened to me.
Yeah.
You get out and you're like, well, see, the thing is, I had a detainer from the state. And I'm thinking, well, when she showed up anyway, so I'm thinking, all right, well, the state's going to be there to pick me up because I have a detainer from the state. What happened to me is that I get out, no one's there, just my wife, and I'm like, get it, throw everything in the car, run, go.
You made a mistake.
Yeah, we take off, and then I see the state coming in the van. I go, that has to be for me. Don't stop. Keep going. Until we got to Euclid, right? But the first thing I ate too was Whataburger. Yeah, because everybody, when they're leaving, what's their first meal? Man, I just want a Whataburger with cheese, with bacon. Everybody, right? Whataburger. That's crazy.
So I got that Whataburger, ate it. I said, let's go to McDonald's.
Nah.
Went to McDonald's.
Nuggets.
No, the Big Mac and the double quarter pounder. That ran through me so much with that grease because we're not used to that food. You know what I'm saying? All that grease.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You guys had macros?
Yeah.
Y'all macros?
Yeah. And those packets.
Yeah, that's all we ate is macros.
Yeah,
macros
are good. They were good.
I ate macro when I came back, right, babe? I ate macros for a while, right? Macros.
I still eat it. I still eat
peanut butter.
Spread, so.
Coffee. Do you drink coffee? Do you use peanut butter in the coffee?
On the peanut butter?
Yeah.
No, I never.
Y'all don't do it. No, mine's always coffee with peanut butter.
Never seen that.
Never seen that either.
Yeah, and where I was like,
I still got instant coffee. I got that Folgers though.
I got better. I got
He's
better.
got the best.
You got
He gets it still.
Yeah, I get it.
The kiwi.
You get the yellow bag Kiwi?
Yeah.
You have to order that.
No, you do. Amazon.
See? That's the only way.
Yeah.
That's the only way.
Yeah,
Because I just seen the cheese that you have to order on
Amazon. Yeah.
The cheese, the prison cheese.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I need to get that.
Yeah.
I said, man, I need to get that. I need to get like 5 bottles of that. You can't find it.
The closest I got to the kiwi is the Bustelo.
Yeah, Bustelo, yeah.
You know about that gunpowder though.
Come on, oh man.
True.
It'll get you wired up though.
No, but there's nothing better than Kiwi coffee.
We have a couple
TV
members
the
in the church
best.
that want to do a spread on a Sunday, right?
Yeah,
Man,
Man, look, I just did a spread for my church.
That's what I love
last
about
week,
Pastor Jay.
right?
He was always doing spread.
Last
He
week,
loves spreads.
He loves
and my
spreads.
pastor just tried it. He's like, what's this? I said, it's a pizza. I was like, but so he's a germaphobe. So he made a little thing in the middle, right? Because I got the spoons. I said, nah, Pastor, we're supposed to eat it together.
Wow.
And he goes, nah, man, because y'all already ate all around. I said, nah, come over. This is how we bring unity. You know, so he goes, nah. He said he made a little thing in a circle.
In the middle.
No, he made a little thing in a circle, and he's seen eating. He goes, man, this is good. And he's like, eating this thing. He goes, man, I didn't even know. I was like, I'm telling you.
Hey, any questions?
It's 8:15.
Are you at the hour already?
You're an hour and 10.
It's good. It goes fast. See what I mean?
Not too many. You just got Destiny. Hi, Destiny. If you're still alive
Destiny,
online
yes,
with
hi,
us.
sister.
Destiny Villarreal.
You
She
know-
says, it's crazy how so many of our stories are similar.
Yeah, man.
We went through the same thing. My mom loved us and did all that she could. My dad was in prison and she did all she could to take care of us. She loved unconditionally, no doubt, but life happened.
Yep. That was Destiny.
Destiny,
Yeah, Destiny.
This is
Yeah,
awesome.
the things that we go through.
James Thomas says rooted trauma. Amen.
Yeah, rooted trauma.
Michael is online.
brother?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
awesome
coming in
pastor.
from
Odessa.
Midland. Odessa.
I don't know.
Man, that
And
dude,
Rachel says hi.
that dude works so much, man. My brother,
Yeah,
Mikey,
he does.
he's always out of town. You know what I was known for. Everybody's known for something, right? I was known for sushi bowls.
You used to make sushi bowls in
Yeah,
there?
dude, I was
I
like,
never
I was
tried.
like,
I used to hear about it, but
I was
never
like the
tried it.
sushi
He
cake.
was sushi. Mine was cheesecake.
Cheesecake.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, they make
strawberry
cheesecake. Yeah, they make cheesecake in there. But I would make, so everybody would bring me everything, right? They'd bring me all
All
the
the
bowls and
ingredients.
everything, all the bell peppers, onions, the red ones, the green ones,
Pork skins.
everything,
Come
everything.
on.
Pork skins,
Jelly?
crush them up.
You had to do
Yeah,
it.
and then I had hot Cheetos
Yeah.
and mayonnaise and sriracha, and we had smoked.
Let's go to HEB.
Smoke. Yeah, smoke oyster. I know you're probably listening. Hey, what kind of prison is that? But yeah, man, sometimes I would do up to 20, 25 bowls. Yeah,
Man.
yeah. Then I get $20 a bowl.
I believe it.
So look, check this out.
believe
When I
it.
was in G4, or during Thanksgiving, right? Oh, actually, G4 was the worst time of my life. 6 months. You see stuff in there that's unreal.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But the doors were closed, right? So, but I learned so much time how to fish because I was on 2-row
Yeah.
and how to do stuff across the other side
Sure.
on 2-row.
Yeah.
So like the law went in there one time and I said, "Hey, shoot all y'all stuff to me, I'll cook it." And so like I'm shooting my line and there's lines going across the dorm, and then the laws are just
You're
like
a telephone wire.
yeah, they're just like, and so they're shooting everything back, and after I cook it, I shoot their line, and all their food is in a bag like this,
Yeah.
and then going everywhere, and man, we all ate,
Nice.
you know what I'm saying? But it was just like the things we could do behind a locked door.
The skills, man.
Yeah,
The skills.
The skills,
You
the
had
talent.
you had a
The
stinger?
talent.
Huh? Yeah,
You had a stinger?
yeah, the
The
boiling the
skills,
water.
the talent.
But before we got locked in the door, I would throw chanclas in the day room and stuff to like fish on purpose to play around to
Yeah.
burn time.
Yeah.
To, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'll
I
see if I
remember
can
those
get into
times.
somebody's cell. You know what I'm saying? Right under the door. Like, hey.
Yeah, man.
But so after all that, bro, the first thing after I went to go eat at McDonald's, I went to Walmart, right? And I was just trying to get adjusted to the fast life of people brushing up to you.
Took me a while.
Yeah,
Right.
that
The
takes
fast movement.
It takes. I couldn't even drive when I came. I mean, I drive, but I couldn't drive because my wife had to drive. She drove me around. She still drives me around. But when I first came out, I was more afraid of crashing. I'm talking about fist, right? Crashing with somebody. What you looking at?
No.
I was afraid of that. I was like, man, somebody looks at me, I'm gonna say something, and then I'm gonna end up back. And it was like, man, I would get these panic attacks where I wanted to stay in my lane.
I remember the first time
No.
I went to the malls, maybe like 10, 15 minutes. Like, man, I gotta go, man.
You got
Tell the
stressed.
ex-wife,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey, I can't be here.
Yeah,
I gotta go. All these people around, like, I'm
Yeah.
feeling that.
So I'm walking in the aisle with them. I'm not leaving their side.
Right.
It feels like I'm out of place if I leave your side. It's just in my head. So the first thing I see that I want to buy is Fabuloso.
Oh yeah.
They had this big old bottle, big old thing of purple Fabuloso.
Well, you have it in prison too, no?
yeah, we
Yeah,
used to steal it and we used to buy it all the
we should-
time.
yeah.
We used to clean yourselves.
Yeah, we always have
I
fabuloso.
was like, man, you know how much money I can make off of that? And I was like, well, I was like, wait. I was like, man, but I like that. And they're like, buy it. And I was like, I like the clean stuff with it. And I'm smelling it. I still buy it today. I still buy it. I buy it for my
Yeah,
dog.
Fabuloso is like the #1 seller in prison.
Yeah, that and bleach, powdered bleach. You know what I'm saying? And so, man, I got that, and then, you know, I tried to get rooted at a church, but my biggest thing was, even through all until now, this is the only church that I've ever been truly rooted at, is that I didn't want an overseer. I was church hopping.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want correction. I
Right.
thought I knew what, like you said, you think you know what you know.
Right.
Just because I was hearing that last testimony of the other brother that was here, he said that, you know, I thought I had it all. Even coming out of prison, I thought in the position that I was, that God, hey, God, you brought me out of this to do this. Nah, sit down.
Down.
Let them, you know what I'm saying? Let them
Disciple.
watch and observe. You got to get discipled, re-discipled. You got discipled in prison, but you got to get ready for these streets. I didn't know how much distraction was out here.
Come on.
I was 18 going in. You telling me I don't know what strip clubs is. I don't know what cocaine and all this other stuff is. I wanted to live life, and so
So let me ask you this. So you come out, did you leave Jesus behind there and you started
I was going hard for God.
out here?
I went hard.
Out here?
Yeah.
Or in there?
No, out here.
Out here, okay.
In there, I was going hard.
Yeah, that's
And
what
then when
I
I came out,
Because I mean, how many times have we seen guys that they're hard in there and they're preaching, and I've seen pastors where I was at, as soon as they hit that gate, the Bible, here.
Yeah.
The next guy, you know,
That's real.
and then they're, you know what I mean? They go live their life. But so when you came out, you were
I went
went
hard, brother. I went
Good,
hard.
good,
I got
good.
connected with a church, and then then it was with a ministry that does church at a park, right? And they for the homeless and everything. And so I was doing praise and worship. Me and this other brother named Wade, and he did 10 years. He's a white guy. He never thought he even did anything. But man, he did the piano, and we all played and did worship. I did songs, and not rap, but just songs. And so we're doing a lot of worship. We're serving. We're doing everything. That pastor of the church, he didn't like the fact that after that service in church, or before that, we would help out another. It was like another women's shelter home.
another ministry.
Another ministry.
So he didn't like you helping
didn't-
another message.
Yeah, and he was like, "Well, if you're gonna be here, you gotta
That's
only
crazy,
serve
right?
this." And I was like, also, but it doesn't interfere with what we got going on here.
You should have ran.
And well, listen, I told him, I said, you know what, brother, my God is not just here; He's everywhere.
Come on.
I said, so I branched out. I left, right? So I still mess with these other brothers with ministry called Reason of Darkness, and I'm talking about my first time ever really getting church hurt. This is where it all. This is where I drifted down. We're going hard for the ministry. I was falling every now and then, dealing with some stuff, but they wanted to talk to me, and they were like, "Hey, they had an intervention done with brothers."
Intervention for you?
Yeah.
So were you?
They wanted me to open up and talk about things, you know, like they were there for me. They painted this persona like they were there for me.
So you opened up.
Opened up.
Yep. You opened
I
up.
opened up about everything that I was dealing with.
And you end up giving them ammunition.
Man,
And then they used it against you.
They blasted me, man. And to the point where that pastor of that ministry said, when I tried to go to an event, and I wasn't gonna go there to do anything but serve and just be around godly people. I needed them.
Which is good. Yeah,
I needed them.
Yeah.
Because I was going through this. And so I go over there, and he says, "You're not welcome here." And I was like, "What?"
Lord have
He
mercy.
says, "As long as this ministry logo's here in any event, you are not welcome here." And so I went to my car. I cried, and I screamed and yelled at God. And I said, "How are you going to allow a man of God to say your name and preach and do this and neglect? Is this what you do? Is this what you do, God? Is this the people that I started screaming at God?" But I felt alone because I opened up to them, but I had nobody in Houston because I was living in Houston at the time.
Okay.
When I got out of prison, I went to Houston.
Okay.
I didn't want to come back to San Antonio.
Right.
I haven't been back to San Antonio like 2 years ago. I came back, but I was there the whole time. And then I was doing ministry and street ministry out there, and I was like, man, I had nobody to go to. everything was just.
Did you regress? Did you backslide? Did you
I
go
did.
back?
I was like, so you know what? I'm done. I'm gonna live my life. And then like I went in like strip clubs. I started smoking, drinking. I would every day of the week that was doing something. I got good at pool. I was living that lifestyle. I was working, but then
How
I
long
would
were you
come
out?
back.
How long were you out there? Partying himself.
6 years on and off.
Oh wow.
6-7 years. I've been out since
The
2017.
thing is, let me just say that one, I gotta, and I speak for myself. When you've had that experience with God, it's hard to get away. Man, it's God.
Because you know that you know that you know.
Yeah.
You know what He delivered you
I mean,
from.
we think about the prodigal
Brought
son.
you out of.
Yeah,
The
man.
prodigal son, the Holy Spirit's almost talking. Prodigal son's in the pig pen. I love that part when it says, and then he came to his senses. We have
Brother,
those moments.
sin ain't just sin
Come
no
on,
more.
come
Dude.
on.
Yeah.
Sin ain't just the way it is. Like, it's not enjoyable like that.
Yeah, man.
It is what it is,
Yeah.
but you feel
Miserable.
yuck and miserable.
Miserable when you see.
You know
I
what I'm
remember
saying?
I went to that backslid years ago, and same thing, man. I went back to drinking, went back to the women, and I was miserable the whole time, man.
You just, once you've had that experience and God has touched you and you have
You know
surrendered,
your calling.
you know God. It's almost like He seals you.
Mm.
You know, He seals you. He brands you. You belong to Him. And no matter where you go, what you do, you're always going to know who you belong to. You know, I remember I used to shoot up heroin, and as soon as I would shoot up, I get this conviction, man, this is not me. I know better. It was just crying, you know, because I had just fixed, and I had a $200-$300 habit a day, and I knew it, man, this is not my life. This is not for me. But the enemy has, the enemy gets you so wrapped up in your sin that you can't get away. You know, but like I said, so 6 years go by. What brings you back? I know we're over time, but I want to get a little picture.
I'm almost done.
No.
Here.
But so 6 years come.
So let me just tell you, man, what all the ministry that I was doing down there, because I went back and forth. I didn't stay in that for the whole.
Okay.
I went back and forth and flip flop. But like
You show up in church, sit
but
back.
I was just getting like there was a lot of churches and ministries that were doing it for them.
All right.
But the only ministry that gave me that this is our foundation, this is what it's all about, was Kingdom Music.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
So when
Brian
I
T.
first
Brian
started,
T.
yes, when I first got out, right? When I was over there, they had a Breach in the Darkness event in Conroe, Texas. And they're like, hey, we want you to do the first song, do the first couple of songs, whatever. And they're like, Brian T gonna be there. I'm like, who's he? They're like, oh, he came to me. This is when he was big, but he, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He wasn't.
Not
So
like
like, and I'm like, why are people going to his table like that? Like, who's this guy? I'm like, whatever. So I go out there and I do my music. I have this big old cross. But I have no songs recorded. It's just straight. Everything straight.
Out of your heart, your memory.
Out of my memory, but with instrumentals.
Yeah.
So I'm just going off, right, and just whatever God has in my heart. And then Brian has somebody come pull me aside, and we go to him behind his table. I was like, "What's up?" He's like, "Man of God." He goes, "What's your name?" And I was like, "Man," I told him. He's like, "Who you plugged up with? Anybody discipling you? And he was just trying to get me plugged in, right? And he goes, "Man, let me tell you something. That's what God wanted me to tell you." He's like, "You're anointed."
Wow.
He said, "The music." I said, "I hear a lot of people." He's like, "I hear a lot of people go up there, but it's for them." He said, "There's something different about you." And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, "That's heartfelt music, my brother. That's what love and pain."
You didn't even know what you were carrying.
Nah.
You didn't
I
even
didn't know the gift that it was like that. I'm like, whatever, man. I'm just doing what I'm doing. And so I was supposed to go bowling with him that night, but I went to go do something else. And so I get plugged in with the Kingdom Music Bible study thing with the brother Ernesto and all of them. And so but I end up sliding off. But I always watch from a distance with the ministry of how, the way he preaches through the word and all the hurt that I went to. And I came over here to San Antonio. This is when I've, planted by the water, best believe, I'm planted deep. This is when I started really just getting rooted and plugged in and saying, you know what, I want to get discipled. I'm gonna receive correction. I'm gonna have this overseer over me.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? But I had to, like, my perspective was, like, you got to show me you a man of God. You got to show me that you walk that life. If you're going to give me correction, you got to show me you about that. You know what I'm saying? And then he showed it through the love and through everything. And then my pastor, and then, you know, it's just like I start seeing the growth in me.
Is that where you're at right now?
Yeah. Yeah, Pastor
Well,
Darnell.
you're in the right place.
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you, with Pastor Darnell,
Yeah.
And you know that dude, man. He's good. He's straight up, and what he says, it's he's straight up.
Yeah, and so, like, you know,
how long you been there?
I've been for almost 2 years.
2 years?
No, a year and a half.
About a year and a half.
We
call it, so the name of we call it church at on Marbach. What do you call it?
Christian Marbach Church.
Yeah. Marbach Church, because that's what I know it, right? The church on Marbach, you know. Man, that's good, bro.
Yeah, and I started getting discipled, and we did street ministry, homeless, and then like a whole different fire. When you go to those trenches and do street ministry, brother, there's a whole different fire that sets in you. It's not about just going and clocking in your ticket on Sunday and paying your 10%, bro. It's a whole different walk.
No, I think what it is too. I think what it is God takes you back to those trenches so you can see where you were. I truly believe that. You know, true. It's like when I see somebody that's on heroin, man, I got this love.
Come on, amen. You got the best.
Yeah. You get this this compassion for them, because I was a heroin addict for over 10 years, so.
Break my heart for what breaks yours.
Come on.
That's what
break
I told Jesus.
For what breaks yours.
You know, and even today, man, I took a break from work, right? And I was telling my coworker this. I went in and there was a 17-year-old kid. He was asking for change, and I went in there to get a drink. And the whole time he was on my mind, and I came back out and I was like, I said, brother, what's your name? And he goes, Joel. I was like, hey, but he was clenching his jaw. And I was like, what are you on right now, man?
Ice.
And he goes, cream and bars. And he couldn't say it.
Like, bars?
Bars.
Wow.
And I'm like, how old are you? He goes, 17. I said, man. And then I started looking in my head. I was like, if I never had a true relationship with God, I would have passed him up like I always did. Right. Because my heart didn't break for what God breaks his. But since now my relationship is getting real, I just can't just pass you up and walk by and say that, would Jesus walk by? Nah, my heart breaks for what breaks yours, man. I break my heart, God, for what breaks yours. I want to see the way you look at things. You know what I'm saying? I want to reach out to people how you reach out. You know what I'm saying? So like I told him, I said, man, God never intended your life to be like this, man. And this is out of my ordinary, because I just don't do this until my walk got seriously, and just wanted to be like, man, I want to pray for you. I want to be there for you, or get down low with you. I'm never above you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We in this together. And so I was like, man, can I pray for you, bro? Man, boom, put that hand on his chest, man. And he was just like, man, I don't care, bro. Hey, started praying, man. I'm getting.
Come on.
The crazy thing is you get this boldness. You know, when the Holy Spirit is, you get this crazy boldness to pray for anybody.
Oh yeah.
Anywhere,
man.
any place. Come on. People can be there, coming and going, traffic.
Man, I'm praying with the popos.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's crazy.
I'm praying for the popos. I'm praying for, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm praying for, like, this man, like, whatever God, and you know what I'm saying? Whatever I feel like the Holy Spirit tells me, hey, I'm on my little scooter. I'm like, can I have an electric scooter?
Oh, I need one of those.
I'm just going everywhere. I'm just like, and I was like, man.
I want to go so bad.
I told her, I said, go, meet me at Wingstop. And she see me, I'm over here talking to this guy. I felt like the Holy Spirit was like, boom, go talk to him. I said, man, what's up, man? I got on the floor with him. I said, what's up, man? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? Just started the conversation, man. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Just speak life. Yeah. You know, and that's what it's all about. Like he said, he came for the sick. He didn't come for the healthy. I came here to serve, not be served.
Serve, man. That's what it's all about, serving.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm just trying to stir my treasures in heaven, man.
You know, I'm sharing that today. Matter of fact, the conversation talking with Pastor Isaiah.
Yeah.
and share with him, man. Like what we're doing today, right? I was telling him, man, like this is, man, I love this life. I love the life of servanthood.
Yep.
You know, but that's all I think back about. Man, I heard a lot of people in my life, you know, where we used to be, you know, as far as being a gangster, you know, and I feel like, man, like God, you're giving me this opportunity that I can do this for people, that I can give back, that I can serve unconditionally. It ain't got nothing to do with any kind of title. I don't care, man. I'm here for you no matter what. You know, and even though I am a pastor, I'm a pastor of servanthood, man, more than anything, because I love to serve, and that's just the heart of God. Because there's one time in my life where I didn't care about serving you, I cared about taking from you. You know what I mean? That's all I was about.
Yep.
And now it's all about Jesus, man. It's all about serving, you know. And like we talked about earlier in the church here, man, listen, the kingdom of God has its issues, man. It's real family. But like I said, it's easy to love the lovable. But the real challenge of love is to love the unlovable. And sometimes we are unlovable with each other. You know what I mean?
When she said, how do you gonna say you love me that you can't see? But
Come on.
love those, you know what I'm saying? That you
Amen.
can't see.
And it's unfortunate that, you know, in the church there's a lot of politics.
It happens.
But you know, I truly believe that there's a lot of politics. There's a lot of church hurt going on and stuff. But I truly believe that a lot of times, I'm off the topic here real quick. But a lot of times it's the ones that do get hurt. They're not mature yet.
Right, of course, that happens a lot.
They're not mature yet.
Yeah.
But when you become mature in the word, it's hard for you to get church hurt because you can take correction. Somebody can sit you down. Hey, okay, I'll sit down.
Amen.
Someone can talk to you and just speak word in it, and you're good. A lot of times, churchers, I've seen them where they're still immature. They're still baby Christians, and you say something, they get offended.
Yeah.
But you know, one thing, unfortunately, that it's going to be everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's
Hey, so you're going to be here this Saturday?
This Saturday.
So tell us a little bit about it.
So this Saturday we were having man church. Now, listen, this is not to offend nobody, but I'm speaking about biological man church. Okay. So if you are a man, this is going to be an awesome event. We're going to have church a man's way, and Michael AP will be here to perform. He's going to bring out some of his music. So, man, hey, guys, I invite you, man. Come on through. You know, we're going to do some barbecue. You know what I mean? We're going to do some fellowship.
What
We're going to
time's
have
the
some
barbecue?
games.
I want to come.
Biological men only. You know,
Save me, please.
maybe to make it take some home to the wife.
You can come to
sir.
Yeah, there we go.
You can come to sir, yeah.
Oh, sir.
Oh,
That's right.
my goodness. Michael, you started that. Good, man. Good. So yes, this Saturday.
So this Saturday
At 5 o'clock.
From 5 to 8 or something like that.
From 5 to 8, yes.
From 5 to 8. Okay,
Yes,
so give them the address.
Yes, 2423 Palo Alto Road, San Antonio, Texas, 78211. If you have any questions about it, feel free to contact myself or Pastor Isaiah when it was hosting it. But it's going to be amazing. We got some good stuff lined up. I think we might have a spades tournament. Who knows? You know, see how it goes.
And another thing is, so when it's a blue building, across the car wash. So it's not your typical church.
No, it's not.
It's a mechanic shop
Manly.
converted into a church. So when you see it, hey, well, where's the church? There's no steeple. It's a blue building. So just you
Maybe
guys.
that's what we need, right?
What's
maybe,
that?
Maybe a cross on top, something like that, huh? Maybe that'll make it different, right?
I'm looking at him like, no.
Okay.
I just love the way it is because
I do too.
you know, it's a
it is
mechanic
honest.
shop. You know, things were broken, things were
Yeah.
fixed.
Come on.
People walk in are broken, and here's where they get restored and fixed.
Amen.
So it was an old mechanic shop.
Yeah.
So, Mike, I want to thank you, Michael
Come on.
Pena.
Amen.
I want to thank you for sharing your heart, your testimony,
Hallelujah.
and I'm going to be here for sure Saturday. I want
Come
to
on.
be here.
Amen.
You know, so for those that are out there, thank you, Michael, for your testimony. Appreciate it.
And we're looking forward to your music too.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing your music too. So,
Destiny said,
man,
go ahead.
again, I'm gonna say it. Christ died for you in public, so don't live your life in secret.
Come on. Preach it.
A life without God doesn't make sense.
Mm.
And if you've gone through something, you have a testimony, you're serving the Lord, you went to go do some time, and you've had that kind of crazy life, and you want to share your testimony, even if you didn't go to prison, but you want to share your testimony with us, please feel free to get a hold of DM Zeus,
Yes.
Brother Zeus, and
Yes,
get
yes.
with him so that way we can have you on the podcast.
Come on.
You know somebody that wants to be on our podcast, let us know.
Come on.
Also, if you have a loved one in prison, get connected get connected to a church, get connected with a group, get connected. Don't wait for him or her to come out of prison and then you're scrambling to see where you can put him at, see what church you can put. Find yourself a place that he comes out or she comes out, you have support for them. It's really important to have support when you come out of prison. If that loved one's coming out without support, he's not going to make it. She's not going to make it. They're going to struggle and they're going to end up back. One thing I do know that if you had a loved one that went to prison 17, 18 years old, they go do a 10 bid, 15-year bid. Don't expect a little puppy coming home. They're going to come back with issues. I remember coming home, I had a lot of PTSD, OCD. I still do it sometimes, but I still do it.
Yeah, he does.
Yes, he
Yeah,
does.
I do.
I mess it up, but he doesn't.
I have to have everything lined up, but those are things in anger. They come out of prison with a lot of things. I want to let you know that if you have a loved one coming out or he came out, give him space. Give him some space. Just let him find himself. Let him find himself. Let him get used to the system. Let him get used to being in public.
Let him evaluate.
Yes.
Room.
Yeah,
This area.
Yeah, and if he comes home and he wants to sleep on the floor, let him sleep on the floor. If he comes home and he wants to jump in the shower with all his clothes and he wants to,
If he wants to make a
Respect your
spread for the next
isolation.
8-9 years,
Yeah.
let him make a spread.
yeah, man.
We respect your isolation too. I've learned that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We come out, we still want to be by ourselves a little bit.
Yeah.
And a lot of times the family freaks out with that. Why you by yourself? But it's like, no, I'm not mad at nobody. This is what I'm used to.
My
You
girl
know?
laughing at me.
Yeah,
I told her about that.
one thing about coming out of prison, especially like myself, that I was in lockdown for 18 months.
Yeah.
So I got to know what it was like, isolation. So when we come out, we're not looking for all that noise and yelling and screaming and
Don't throw a welcome home party.
yeah, there you go. Rightly said. There
Do
you go.
not throw. That's
Yeah,
not a good idea.
Just let
Yeah.
your
Just bring Waterbury.
just let your loved one come home and let him find himself. Give him the support. I'm sure they're going to have drug tests. He has to go report. He has classes. Just be there for him. Show them that you love him, and he's going to find his way.
And the best chance he has of getting plugged in and connected is if you get plugged in and connected starting now.
That's the idea.
Come on.
Find a place. Look, man, we're known as a cholo church. We're all tatted up. Everybody, the majority of our people have been in prison. But this is what we do. This is our ministry. We work with guys and women that are coming out of prison. They're struggling. That's our calling. That's what we do. That's our church. So find yourself a place. It doesn't have to be our church or our ministry. Find yourself a good Bible-based church so that way you can plug your loved one in.
Amen.
Okay.
Hallelujah.
All right, guys, I want to thank you. Zeus, thank you.
Yes.
Michael, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Amen.
Love
God
you
bless
guys, and we'll see you next time.
Love you guys.
Love you guys. Bye.